Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and the surrounding area were once covered in beautiful farms and natural areas with pristine waterways. Today, the area is experiencing exponential growth and development, which has led to urban sprawl. Unfortunately, this has urgent implications for soil and water conservation. So, what's the problem? Murfreesboro's rapid growth is reshaping our landscape, but at what cost? The loss of healthy topsoil and plant cover and increasing flooding. Murfreesboro has already experienced serious flooding in recent years, leading to injuries and deaths. When we talk about flooding, most people think of floodplains near major waterways. However, in Murfreesboro, this isn't necessarily the most problematic areas. Murfreesboro's landscape is mostly drained by sinkholes. The thinly mantled limestone areas of Murfreesboro are characterized by a complex system of hundreds of sinkholes which help drain rainwater runoff into underground conduits. If ignored, these sinkholes can contribute to flooding instead of preventing them. According to a study of Murfreesboro by the U.S. Geological Survey, the lack of land use planning and insufficient delineation and knowledge of sinkholes is increasing flood risk, higher flood altitude, and increased flood durations. In other words, as the soil is removed from the natural landscape, drastically changed to accommodate new developments, more water is directed into these sinkholes than can naturally be drained, making Murfreesboro more prone to frequent and severe flooding. This map shows the sinkhole watershed area, which is basically all areas that are not in close proximity of a major waterway. Many new residential developments have been built with densely spaced houses that leave very little permeable areas for rainfall infiltration. These areas have experienced flooding in which large pumps are brought in to pump out the trapped water. One development I'm referring to is built across the street from Siegel High School, directly over a critical sinkhole area. This sinkhole delineation was studied and mapped by the USGS study in 2002. This means that the city knew about its significance and still allowed the development to be built. According to climatecheck.com, about 21% of the buildings in Murfreesboro are at risk of flooding, and that risk will increase substantially with the projected increase in precipitation and continued loss of natural areas and soil. What is Murfreesboro doing about it? In short, not much. Programs exist that depend highly on volunteers to clean up existing parks. This is good, but it's not enough. In 2016, Murfreesboro drafted a comprehensive future land use plan called Murfreesboro 2035. The plan prioritizes land development for residential and commercial use. Where the plan falls short is addressing the environmental concerns of soil and water conservation. According to the Murfreesboro Future Land Use Plan, we need 2,760 acres of park space by 2035 to support the population. Even in 2014, when the population was a little over 118,000, Murfreesboro had a significant deficit in neighborhood and community parks. There have been no new parks designated since the plan was drafted, and we are halfway to 2035. This is a picture of the map from the Future Land Use Plan. Dark green areas are existing parks and natural areas. The legend shows current and proposed zoning. As you can see, the Future Land Use map shows no reserved spaces for critical sinkhole drains, new parks, or natural spaces. It's all zoned to be developed. Why would the local government let this happen? Perhaps policymakers are ignorant or even apathetic to the implications of failing to prioritize soil and water conservation. Some people think the elected officials stand to gain more financially from economic growth. One example often cited is the mayor of Murfreesboro, who owns Shane McFarland Construction, a custom residential and commercial firm. What should be done? Citizens of Murfreesboro must let their voices be heard. The city must prioritize efforts to reduce flooding risks and preserve groundwater quality. Changes should be made in zoning laws and regulations to limit high-density housing in flood-prone areas. Types of development need to be customized on a better understanding of the hydrologic cycle. Mandates are needed for green infrastructure in all developments, such as permeable pavements and vegetative buffers. Policies must reflect and prioritize soil and water conservation, like regulations that balance growth and development with soil and water conservation measures like new parks and natural areas. You could take a drive down any road in Murfreesboro and see that it is clear that Murfreesboro government currently prioritizes economic growth over environmental conservation. Regulations must change and be implemented as soon as possible to help conserve soil and water and prevent unnecessary flooding. Together, we can advocate for smarter, more sustainable growth while preserving our most important natural resources. Our future is now.